I was ready to catch it myself, but we got taken to the hospital because of complications, and luckily it was a good hospital. The doctor, when the head was starting to crown, he was massaging around to help the vagina open to allow it to come out. And when he went to get something, I stuck my hand and I started massaging and helping the head as well. And he came back and he said, "No, no, no, you can't do that." And so I was like, "Okay." And which
You can't massage your own
I can't
wife.
massage my own wife, but so I said, "Okay." And then the baby's head came out and he has his hand there. And then the baby fully started to come out, and I just couldn't help myself. I just kind of leaned over a little bit and just caught the baby. And the doctor, his reaction, he was, you can't, yeah. He was trying to say no, and he just gave up because I'm sitting there holding, he couldn't say no. The baby came out and I'm holding her in my hands. And next thing I know, the doctor hands me scissors and the cord is clipped on both sides. And he says, "Are you gonna cut it?" And I'm holding the baby, and at that point, you know, because he didn't want me to catch the baby anyway, I thought it was a trick to make me let go of the baby. I was like, "You go ahead and cut it, I'm happy." To let go of her, there was no desire whatsoever. And afterwards, we were terribly saddened that it was cut right away, and we had won it. In the home birth plan, it was going to wait until it stopped pulsing. But once we got to the hospital, that somehow didn't get communicated to the doctor. And we had a doula and a midwife. And one of our disappointments is that neither of them stepped in and said, "No, no, it's not getting cut." Everybody kind of fell under that the doctor was supreme and no one else had a word, and what the doctor did was what gets done. And to any doula, our biggest, you know, we were happy with our doula. Our only real comment to her afterwards was, "I wish you just, you know, were more empowered and just sat there and said no to the doctor." Said, "No, just wait." And what can the doctor do to her? Nothing. Ignore her if he wants to, but there was nothing to, you know, so we really wished that she was empowered and kind of helped at least slow the process down a little bit.
So this doctor did come in then, and because the presentation was not exactly perfect and the cord did need to be pulled over, he could have come in and just done this with the father holding the mother so beautifully and me helping support the perineum, and instead he came rushing in, kind of pushed the father out of the way and yelled at him and yelled at the woman to change her position. And the man started weeping. I saw this wonderful father who had made months and months of efforts to create support for his lady and the new little girl, and there for the whole labor was with her, and I was able to support him to be there with her. And this doctor came in and yelled at him and shoved him out of the way, and the man at that very moment broke down weeping, and actually I believe he cried for almost the whole rest of the day. And here I was as the assistant just saying, "Okay, I am so sorry about what this doctor did. I don't think he really realizes what he did, but I saw what he did, and I saw you as a father really being there, and I tried to help him to see that, you know, he was there in this most amazing way. But I was quite crushed myself to see what the institution did to a man that made this kind of effort to help to be there for his daughter's birth and to be there for this beautiful mother family." And I encouraged them to write to the hospital and complain about this particular inappropriate procedure. And I believe that he did. I hope that he did.
The doctor came in about 8 o'clock or 8:15, and you know, and he says, "Well," he says, "I'm going to check you," you know, and he kind of, he says, he seemed like he was a little bit rough, and he says, "We got to hurry this up." And so he proceeded to break her bag of water. The baby fell down on the cord, is what happened. there was no anesthesiologist, there was no operating room available for her because the one was already having a scheduled C-section. And there was a lot of chaos, and they're trying to get her to get in a position so the baby will fall off of the cord, and it was really pretty out of control. And anyway, they've taken her down the hall, and she's kind of like on all fours, kind of like this, and you know, there's people all up and down the hall, and there, you know, and everybody's hollering and screaming, and it was just pretty chaotic. And other than being just, you know, the hero and saving everybody's life, he kind of caused the problem to begin with by trying to hurry everything up. And,
Kind of.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, they do it all the time.
You know, instead of saying, you know, well, I'm sorry, you know, it turned out this way, but at least everything turned, I mean, he was more like, oh, look at me, aren't I great? You know, kind of like, I was like, yeah.
I caused a problem that I can fix.
Yeah, I caused a problem I could fix. You know,
Seriously.
so.
That's
But anyway, she said she's not going to have any more children, so I was real happy about that.
You are?
She's not going to have any more. No, because I can't take it. Can't take it.
Of course, there's all these people running around with their hospital garb on. It's very efficient. I said, well, this is what we need to do. And they said, no, we have to take the baby to the newborn nursery for an hour or 2 or 3, whatever the number was. And I said, no, the baby needs to go to the mother. I said, no, that's hospital rules. The baby goes there. I said, it's my baby, and I'm going to take the baby. Give me the baby. And they said, you can't take the baby. And they sort of stood shoulder to shoulder and carrying the baby and said, it's against hospital rules. Then I said, well, I'll have to take the baby against medical advice. They said, you'll have to sign papers. I said, you give me the baby and you go get the papers. And I took the baby from them and took the baby over and gave her to her mother, and she was put to the breast. And had I been anything other than a physician, I don't know that I would have been able to take the baby from them at that point, or if they would have called the guards in. And I thought, you know, how unfortunate. And people who don't have an ability to be in control, and you don't know that you're not going to have that control when you go in.
A man or a grandma like me, or a doula, or any partner a woman cannot go into the hospital and be protected. A man cannot protect his child in the hospital. It's too variable.
So I thought how unfortunate it would be for all of those babies and all of those parents who weren't able to achieve that moment of union.